Is sticking to a consistent YouTube upload schedule the key to growth on YouTube? Or does that just create YouTuber burnout? Well, today we're diving deep into YouTube deadlines, upload schedules, and does the time of day that you upload even matter? Those are the things that we're going to be discussing here. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, welcome back everybody to the Video Creator Show, where we talk about all things YouTube. My name is Augie Johnson. I'm here with my co-host Grant Ball, and today's episode is brought to you by vidchops.com that allows you to add an expert video editor to your team. So if you need an editor, head over to vidchops.com. All right, Grant, we're talking about upload schedules, deadlines.
Yes,
Why do you think so many creators feel pressured to keep a consistent upload schedule?
Well, people don't want their audience to forget about them. And that, I think, is the biggest appeal of having a consistent, strict upload schedule, is people know what to expect, when to expect it. And also it keeps you, we'll say, quote unquote, honest, right? If you have a schedule and you stick to it, then there's no excuse to skip deadlines, right? So I really think that's the pressure, is people are worried that the world is going to move on. So they have to keep making videos at a certain schedule. Otherwise, it's just, they will be drowned out by people who are posting more often.
Okay. Yeah, just in a bit from now, we're going to talk about like the implications of the algorithm and what it means to that. But I agree with you. I think that they feel like, you're self-employed when you're creating videos, or you're self-motivated to create these videos. Your boss isn't telling you to do it by this time. So you have this deadline that you've created because you said, okay, I'm going to upload a video every Wednesday.
Yes.
And to me, that's important. I think that all creators should shoot for that, to have a consistent upload schedule just for the reason of accountability. Do you agree with that? Or do you think that that kind of messes them up or blocks them or makes them create worse videos or something?
So I feel if you have your style of video down, then yes, it is much better. You will be more accountable with deadlines. So let's say that means if it takes you 2 weeks to make a video, so every 2 weeks, that's how long it takes you to make whatever style of video it is. It's probably a very complicated video if it takes you 2 weeks. But if that works for you, then that's always going to be better than just kind of having a random posting schedule. I would say the exception where I actually think deadlines are unhealthy is if you feel like your content is getting stale and you're constantly pressuring yourself to post, every day, maybe every other day, every week, whatever it is. If you're forcing yourself to churn out these videos, you actually may end up hurting yourself. So that's a case where deadlines actually are not what you want, where maybe you need to take a step back and reevaluate and come up with something that feels fresh, something that feels new.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that too. And every YouTuber faces that challenge where you feel like you're just creating the same content over and over again. And you're like, well, I can't create that video because I've already created that video in the past, right? I already created the how to dribble through your legs video. But my advice to those people is you can always recreate the same video that you've created in the past. Now, I know that might not be great for your creative juice and all that kind of stuff. You might not want to do it, but you can do it, and it won't hurt you in the algorithm. And actually recreating the same video that's already kind of blown up, but just kind of putting a slight small twist on it can give you another chance to create another viral video that's going to get a lot of views because it's just a proven video topic for your audience. So my advice is I wouldn't worry about that. But yes, I would agree that when you say you're going to upload, 2 videos a week, that might not seem like a lot, but when you commit to doing that, you're committing years of your life to doing that. And that's when it starts to get hard.
Yeah. And I would just say, check in with yourself. Like, does the process still feel like it's working? Does it feel like a drag every day? Like, is it getting worse? Are you feeling burnt out? These are all things to be aware of. And I think there's always a line to walk between productivity and creativity, because, if you have an infinite deadline, then it just might take you forever to make a video, and that's not good either. But sometimes the pressure to create something actually ends up making you more creative because you're working under pressure. You end up having to be creative to solve problems in a kind of time constricted manner. But of course, doing this too much, you might get burned out. So just always be checking in with yourself about is this what I want to be doing? Does it feel right? And just be aware of how you really feel.
Nice. Great. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the benefits, right? So besides like the accountability, right, of having an
Mm-hmm.
upload schedule, that's basically what we were talking about so far. What are some other benefits of uploading, every Wednesday at 2 p.m.? What are some other benefits you could think of?
Well, I think so. With that example specifically, every Wednesday at 2 p.m., your audience knows when to find you. They know where to find you. So they're like, oh, hey, it's Wednesday afternoon. I should go check out Augie's channel. That can definitely be helpful for like forming a habit with your audience where just kind of every Wednesday they know the video's there. Even if they're not around at that time, maybe Thursday rolls around, they're like, oh, hey, yesterday was Wednesday. I should check that out. I think it just makes you more accessible to your audience. It makes you feel more reliable. They know when and what to expect from you. So I would say that's the biggest thing of having a schedule like that. The biggest pro.
Okay. Yeah. And I would wonder, and I don't think any of us truly know the answer to this, but I know that like with the algorithm, right, it's good for people to search up your name, go to your channel, click on your channel, and click on your latest video, right? Like I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how much value that has in the algorithm, but would assume there's some value there, and it gives your channel maybe a little bit better power ranking or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I guess that could happen, right? When you do upload, every Monday morning at 6 a.m. and people are waking up Monday morning, opening up their YouTube app while they're still in bed and they're searching your name and stuff. I think that that's really the only way that I could see it helping you with the algorithm. What's some other thoughts? Is there any other ways you think it helps with the algorithm uploading? You think it's tracking? Oh, this channel didn't upload this week. That's
Mm.
going to hurt them. Or do you think there's any other factors besides people knowing that you upload on Monday morning and searching you up? Is there any other algorithm factors, do you think?
So that's a controversial question. And my take on it is whenever you post a video, YouTube does its best to try and find that video an audience, regardless of how often, regardless of whether or not you've broken your normal upload schedule. If you skip a week, I don't think YouTube is going to punish you for doing that, in my opinion, on a video per video basis.
Yeah.
You'll probably see less views on your channel that month, but only because you released one less video. It's not that each of the videos is being punished because you didn't release that one video. So I would say it's more of an audience thing. I don't think it pleases the algorithm necessarily to have a really strict upload schedule like that. That's just my opinion. Maybe back in like 2016, 2017, the algorithm was different. Like, especially back then, there was a lot of talk about you need to have a strict schedule. But I think YouTube is a lot different now, and it really does try its best to promote each video for its own sake, and not in relation to your other posts or non-posts.
Great take on that. I agree as well. I think it's a different algorithm these days. And, it does make me wonder though, because if you open up your analytics and you look inside there, you will see somewhere saying like the best time or like the time of day that most of your viewers are on YouTube. Right. It gives
Mm-hmm.
you that data. And so like any kind of data that they give us in YouTube Studio, I always think like it's got to be in the algorithm somewhere. Right. Why would they be giving us this data? And that one always seems odd to me. It seems almost like outdated. Like they should take that out of there, because does it really matter if most of your audience is online at 2 p.m. on Wednesdays the most? Because if you upload the video on Thursday at, let's just say 6 a.m., well, the next time they open their app, technically, YouTube should be recommending your video to them if they're your core audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense for them to give us that data and for us to say, okay, look, our audience is online at Wednesday at 2 p.m. Like I'm going to upload my video at 1:59 p.m. every Wednesday. To me, it doesn't make sense. But what's your take on that?
Mm-hmm. So I feel like that data is really useful for live streaming. So I'm glad YouTube shares that with us for that reason.
Yeah.
As far as I do feel like originally when they started showing us that, it seemed like it was supposed to be helpful for posting. this is yet another controversial question. Does it matter when you post? Should you pay attention to that data when you are posting? I personally usually try to schedule videos around like when my audience is online the most. Now, or I guess more specifically, I try to schedule it where like I'll post it right before that peak time. So like it's sort of maybe the average amount of people is on, that's when I post, and then it kind of bleeds over into the peak time. And then the first few hours of that video's life are essentially gaining momentum because more and more people are coming online. That's what I try to do. Just intuitively, that feels like it makes the most sense. Now, I'm not convinced it actually matters. I kind of do that as a matter of form and optimization.
Yeah.
I'm, at least logically, I don't think it really matters. Maybe that's just sort of a little superstitious thing I do to make myself feel better, make me feel like I have more control than I do. But that's what I do. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I'm not sure it really matters.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think if you are going to fully optimize your upload and your publish, right, every detail, then putting it up to go live, 2 hours before your audience is online makes the most sense, because they get online, they're going to get recommended the thumbnail, and you're trying to get a 1 of 10. Right. That when you publish a video, a 1 of 10, it means your video is an outlier. It's getting more views than the past 10 videos that you've gotten in the first, I think it's 48 hours. I can't remember the exact time frame. So to get that 1 of 10, you really do need to get the views right away. So that to me does make sense. But I think it's just a drop in the bucket, right? It's not going to make a bad video good, and it's not going to be the key to a video going viral. But for a good video to fully get the most juice out of it, I think so. Okay, let's talk a little bit about, deadlines in general as humans, right? Deadlines are stressful, but I think helpful. And, throwing deadlines on YouTubers is scary. Why? Because most YouTubers eventually have YouTube burnout and they quit. You experienced it. I experienced it. I think every creator experiences that sometime, where it's a little bit of creative block and burnout, and deadlines could definitely be a part of that. Do you think that deadlines are one of the main reasons that people have YouTuber burnout? Is that like a cause of it?
Yeah, I do feel like that is a key ingredient.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the sole cause, but absolutely having too strict of a deadline is an ingredient for creating burnout. That's not to say we shouldn't use deadlines. Kind of like I was mentioning earlier, I think I'm leaning into a new kind of perspective with my career, where I look at things more in terms of chapters versus permanent decisions. So again, like if I have a template for a video, or like a style of video that I feel confident I can make every week or every 2 weeks, then a deadline is very healthy for that thing. But when that becomes stale, maybe I'm sick of doing it. Maybe I'm just kind of running out of ideas and I need some more like recharge time to think of new ideas. I actually think pulling back on the deadlines will actually add a lot of longevity to your career, to your mental health, in a way where, if you look at your career over the course of like 10 years, you actually end up posting a lot more videos because you're being mindful of when you're feeling burned out and when you're not. Whereas, yeah, if you pull back how often you're making videos, in the short run, you're going to obviously release less videos. But during that time, you'll have more recharge time. You can live your life, kind of gain new perspectives, digest new things, things you enjoy, books, movies, TV, whatever. And then you can put that into more videos. Whereas if you don't have time to live your life like that, I think that's when we end up getting burnt out. We don't feel like we're recharging the battery. So it's this idea of chapters, and like this chapter is when I release super often, in this chapter is when I don't. And I kind of fluctuate between those.
Yeah, that's great. I think most people go through phases of inspiration. I know, like when I get a good idea, like I get inspired, and that's when I'm in full create mode and I'm pumping stuff out. And then there's moments where I feel blocked and I'm not inspired. And I think those times, I think it's important to still grind it out and try to get a video up. but maybe not. So what is your take on that? Like when if if my Wednesday upload is coming and it's Monday and I'm not feeling it, should I skip the week or should I just try to
Hmm.
get something up that's maybe not as good as it could be?
Hmm. I would say, like, look at how you've been recently. Have you been really busting your ass recently? In the last month, 2 months, 3 months? If the answer is yes, then maybe just give yourself a break that week. If you feel like no, and you deep down feel like you could be doing more, you should be doing more, and that isn't just guilt talking, that's like, it feels like it's coming from a grounded place, then I would say release the video. Just release it. And you may even need to be kind of creative with that. Like maybe you were working on some video but you want it to be perfect, so maybe like push that video to a later date, but then with that day and a half time frame, see if you can make a different type of video is actually a lot faster to produce. My friends Tyler and Mike, who run Bonsai Pop, an anime YouTube channel, they actually end up doing that a lot. Not necessarily with like 1.5 day deadlines, but sometimes they're working on some video for an anime that's super long and complex, and everything's just taking longer. They end up kind of just making a quick, easy video and then pushing the complicated video back. So that's kind of my nuanced, rambly answer to that. Hopefully that is clear what I mean by all that.
Yeah, it's clear. I think you basically are saying it's great to just make sure to get a video up and upload a video. I agree with that because like as far as like what this is giving it some advice right now to somebody that's thinking about like you always to me want to err on the side of getting something published just
Mm-hmm.
because it's so hard to, and the last thing you want to do is start overthinking it and being a perfectionist and delaying stuff. Like if you got it and you can get it done, get it done, get it up. And it's more bites at the apple, more
Mm.
swings of the bat, try to hit a home run. Okay. Now, so after everything we've talked about so far, what's your final answer? Do upload schedules really matter? Should
Yes.
should our viewers do it?
Yes, they
And
should.
why?
Because if you choose deadlines incorrectly, like maybe they're too frequent or not frequent enough, you will end up, I think, not as successful as you could be. Like if your deadlines are, if you're not mindful about your deadlines, I think that is going to hurt you in the sense of productivity or in the sense of creativity. It's going to be in like one direction or the other, in my opinion. So yes, deadlines do matter, but not in the sense of you have to post a video every single week. It's more you should look inwards and be honest with yourself about what a realistic and good deadline is, and check in with yourself about that relatively often. Doesn't have to be every day, or even every week or every month, but just kind of, it should be something in the back of your mind. Yes, they matter, but not in the way that I think one would normally think about it.
Yeah, it's not going to make or break, I think, your channel, but it's going to be a good guide. And I think the weekly upload schedule is where it's at, man. I mean, in a perfect world, uploading twice a week to me is optimized because that's enough time to give each video a chance to breathe for it to get promoted before you upload again, and it'll allow you to get 8 videos up every single month. So that's a lot. But I don't think it's so realistic for everyone to do 2 videos a week unless that's your only job. If there's no business behind your channel, if there's no full-time career, if there's no
Mm-hmm.
even just part-time job or no family obligations and stuff like that, I think two a week is totally fine. If you're 24 years old and you're single and you're living by yourself and you want to try to upload twice a week, I think you probably could do it. But if you set your goal as 1 per week, doesn't mean you can't upload 2 when you're feeling inspired, right? It doesn't mean you can't put a few in the bank and have 3 or 4 and have a month scheduled out and be a month ahead of your uploads. So that would be my advice, would be, throw a deadline on there, throw an upload schedule on there, make it once a week, no matter what, no matter who you are, and try to stick to that. And if you can't stick to that, then it's gonna be hard to make it, unless you're creating these super long, high quality videos, then there's a chance. But I think for most people, their skill set in creating YouTube videos is, talking to the camera about something you're an expert at and giving some advice and some value, telling some stories, being a good talker. That's mostly where people are at. I mean, creating the video essay and stuff it's more rare, the people that are really doing that. So I think once a week is a good goal. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm. I think it depends on how complicated your videos. I say once a week is something to work up to. It's not necessarily something that you should immediately go for. And it depends on how complicated your videos are and how crazy your life is. I think once a week is a good like gold standard. So I'll say like yes with an asterisk for. Do I recommend once a week? Yes, asterisk.
Cool. All right. Well, what's the future of deadlines and upload schedules look like for YouTube? Do you think where do you think the algorithm's ever going to change and hurt you for not uploading? And I mean, it could, right? I mean, that would ultimately benefit YouTube's bottom line in the end, right? What do they want? They want more people viewing videos for more ad revenue. Uploading consistently gets them more views from their creators, gets them more ad revenue. Why wouldn't they penalize people who don't do that?
Mm-hmm. Because it might hurt the quality. Like in the short run, YouTube might notice that total views on the platform go up, but in the long run, they might notice that people stop going on the platform because they're bored, because YouTubers don't have time to create the best videos they can, and they're always rushing out watered down BS. Like that, I think that's what YouTube is trying to avoid. I think the algorithm in the past has erred too far on the side of punishing people who don't upload super often. Potentially, I'm still not convinced that was ever the case, but there's an argument for it. Whereas now and into the future, I believe the future of deadlines for YouTube is kind of seasons, like you would almost expect from a TV show, sort of, in the sense of this season I'm posting every week, next season I'm posting every other week, and then the season after I'm posting every week again. Or maybe you take breaks, like kind of whatever works for you. But that's the future of deadlines. Mindful deadlines, not arbitrary, hyper productive deadlines.
I agree. That's a great take on that. So, all right, you guys, thank you guys so much for listening today. I think that's all we have to say about deadlines. Yes, they matter. You are your own boss when it comes to YouTube. So monitor your own deadlines, give yourself an upload schedule. Once a week is what we recommend. Mm-hmm. And hopefully that helps you in growing your channel. If you guys are watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. If you guys are listening on an audio platform, you can follow us there as well. Again, this was brought to you by vidchops.com, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.